In this video, I'm going to show how ImageX has brought Coveo search capabilities over to Drupal CMS. So Drupal is an open source CMS, much like WordPress, used very widely from small to enterprise, just due to its scalability and capabilities of being extendable. So as with most CMSs, its default search is very simplistic, just title, body, that kind of thing. So in-game search API for Drupal, this has been around for 2 major versions now, which is basically a framework for allowing Drupal search to use any backend as its search engine and utilize the same capabilities regardless of backend. So with the search API, that means you can use database, you can use Apache Solr, Algolia, and many others. With the current version, only Solr and database have stable versions, so that is why we attempted to bring Coveo into the mix. So with this, we built out a module that allows Coveo's push API to be used as a search API backend for Drupal. So in doing this, we created a brand new source for Coveo, and then we input it into our module with its API key and source name. This allows us to switch between servers. So this is one of the best things of Search API within Drupal, is that the index itself is agnostic of the actual backend that you're using. So you can see I'm on a Acquia Solr server currently. To switch, I would create my Coveo backend, which I've already done. Just to show, this is, like I said, simply just giving it a name, inputting your application ID and your API key, and hitting save. For the index, you then can easily switch between, say, Solr and Coveo just by hitting the radio button and hitting save. By doing this, all of your fields that have been indexed previously will then be pushed as well using the field API in Coveo, and you'll see they'll all be prefixed with Drupal without the vowels, just so that they can be identified as Drupal fields. So when we look at this, we'll see the fields that are indexed currently through the Drupal UI. So these are fields on entities that are known to me. So I've chosen a song entity and I want to index the artist, the lyrics, the title, and the year. So these have been pushed up to Coveo just by switching my index over. When you do index the data, it is pushed in batches. I won't show that right now as it takes a little bit of time, but if we view the index here, we can see that I've indexed 4,800 items. So these will be pushed, which we can see if we go into either the log browser in Coveo, we can see that they were pushed in batches, or we can see in the content browser ourselves that our content exists. So just by doing this, this allows Drupal to use Coveo as its backend, but still use the Search API functionality. So Search API out of the box can support faceting, fields processing, autocomplete, along with a few others. So with this, we get our Drupal search. So this is a default Drupal search. There's no facets or autocomplete or anything enabled by default. But you can see this is our index for Coveo, and we're able to search by keyword, return the results, but use the Drupal UI to do so. Now with that, like I said, the Search API is fairly limited in its functionality because it has to be agnostic of backend. So it only uses the main capabilities such as autocomplete and faceting. Obviously, Coveo provides a lot more functionality than this. So we didn't want to lock people into the Drupal way. We wanted to provide it to them so that they can do an easy switch from, say, Solr, but we didn't want to lock them into it. So what we've done is we've also integrated the Coveo JavaScript framework into Drupal, so that they can use that as their search page and utilize all the extra functionality that Coveo brings in. So by default, this is what you would get here. This is the default Coveo search. You can see it has its card listings, relevance, and date sorting. The autocomplete would be on here as well. So There we go. So this is the default search, but the nice thing about this, because it's integrated into Drupal, we can not only use HTML for Drupal, the Twig theming template system that they use, but we can also take it straight from Coveo. So if we go to Coveo and we want a search page, we can use Coveo's editing interface. Now I've already done this, so I've added a facet for artist and a facet for year ranges, and just kind of prettied up the results. We can actually just go to the code view and take this and paste it into our Twig template in Drupal. And then when we come back here and refresh our page, we now have our styled version taken right off of the Coveo search engine. So we have our facet, we have our styled result listing here, and we can easily theme this, but still using Coveo's power of its JavaScript framework. So this allows the user to really kind of control how their search looks, but still use the power of Coveo and still use it within the Drupal interface. So within the UI and search API capabilities of Drupal. The power of this part here allows us to also take Drupal and push information to Coveo that may be useful. So through our fields, we can see we can do facets and sortability through the fields, which is actually controlled through the Drupal UI. So it allows people to do it from both Coveo or Drupal, depending on their preference and comfort level with either tool. So that's a very short demo of how ImageX has brought Coveo over to Drupal CMS. We look forward to extending this further. Thank you.